In a matter of seconds, the first polls will begin closing across the country. Hundreds of thousands of Wave Country voters have made their voices heard and their votes count.
Voting is the bedrock of our democracy. It's what's made the United States the greatest country in the history of planet Earth.
But this election day has been met with its share of problems from the start.
I know there's some misinformation out there.
People are frustrated.
Right now, I'm not trying to attack anybody or blame anyone. I just want to fix the problem.
The future of the country and your communities will be decided tonight.
From southern Indiana to Louisville and across the nation, your live Decision 2024 coverage begins right now.
This is Wave News, your Decision 2024 headquarters.
We welcome you to Wave News at 6. I'm John Vole.
And I'm Myra Ansari. It's 6 o'clock and it's time for polls to start closing and the first votes to be counted. Our newsroom is following every race that matters to you tonight.
Outside the newsroom, our team is on the ground across Wave Country hearing from you.
Wave was at the door when polling locations opened this morning and is committed to bringing you everything that you need to know tonight.
Including the big story of the day, polling delays because of technical problems so severe that Election Day went to the courts in Jefferson County. Lots of blame being tossed around, but most importantly, Kentucky Democrats asked a Jefferson County circuit judge to keep the polls open until 8 tonight, just for Jefferson County, but that just got shot down.
Wave troubleshooter Mark Stevens is at the Board of Elections with the very latest.
Circuit Judge Eric Hayner said that what the Democrats asked for, keeping the polls here in Jefferson County open until 8 p.m., went far beyond what they had actually been able to specifically say in their complaint. They were only able to say there were about a dozen sites that experienced these technical issues this morning and that they didn't name any specifically. However, in his order, he reiterated that any voter who was in line, within the last 2 minutes will be able to cast their ballot. Now, the lawsuit that the Democrats filed mirrored what many voters told us this morning, that the check-in process took much longer than it should have to scan voter ID cards and have them sign the poll book. One elections worker said the machines had to be restarted after every single voter at times. Now, the clerk's office eventually told workers to skip scanning the IDs and manually enter that information instead and turn off the routers. Workers at 3 polling places I visited told me that worked, and that sped up the process significantly. But the lawsuit said some voters ended up leaving because the technical issues caused up to a 3.5-hour delay. Mayor Craig Greenberg wanted elections officials to extend the polling hours as well, following the widespread reports this morning. But the Board of Elections said it would have been okay with only extending the polling time frame by an hour and disputed what the Democrats said in their lawsuit, saying it was never a county-wide outage.
It's not a systematic failure of all the systems. There was issue with some e-poll books that have already been established and explained. The polling locations were open continuously at 6 o'clock. All voting machines were working, and no voters were at any time turned away.
Now, the last time polls were extended in Jefferson County was in 2020. At that time, a judge allowed the poll at the Expo Center to remain open until 6:30, a half hour past the deadline. Now, again, the judge's decision tonight means that any voter who is in line ahead of 6 o'clock will be able to cast their ballot. Anybody in line now, it's too late. Live outside the Board of Elections, Mark Stevens, Wave News.